Welcome back to Midnight Signal AI. Today is June 17th, 2026, and the AI world is bracing for a wave of disruption on multiple fronts.
From national security showdowns and export bans to advances in agent trust and code reasoning, today's stories put the spotlight on how AI is reshaping everything from governments to daily life.
Let's kick off with a trio of headlines that show just how much Nvidia's Jensen Huang is pushing the public and industry to get hands-on with AI.
Huang's messaging here is savvy. He's not just talking up NVIDIA's dominance, but actively encouraging the public to experiment with AI tools like ChatGPT. That both builds the market and shapes the narrative around AI as something for everyone, not just big tech or academia. It's also a hedge. The more real-world users, the less likely regulators are to paint AI as an elite, opaque threat. But it does raise the stakes for responsible onboarding, especially as AI's influence spreads.
And speaking of ChatGPT, OpenAI is rapidly expanding its reach on two very different fronts. First, it's headed for the U.S. military's GenAI.mil platform, debuting in early July, according to Nextgov.
This is a big one. Getting ChatGPT into GenAI.mil means OpenAI is now directly embedded in U.S. defense infrastructure. That's a validation of LLMs for high-stakes, classified work. But it also means new scrutiny. Every security flaw or hallucinated answer suddenly carries much higher real-world risk. It also sets the stage for a new wave of procurement battles. Imagine the lobbying if every branch wants a different AI vendor.
And in parallel, OpenAI is also partnering with Nykaa, a major Indian e-commerce brand, to bring AI-powered shopping to ChatGPT, as reported by Telangana Today.
It's fascinating to see OpenAI using India as a proving ground for transactional AI. Integrating shopping directly into ChatGPT is a big move. It changes the assistant from a source of information to an active shopping agent. The upside is new monetization vectors, but success will hinge on user trust and seamless experience. If it's clunky or feels intrusive, both OpenAI and Nykaa could take a reputational hit.
But not all news is positive for OpenAI. Fast Company reports that ChatGPT's competitors are gaining serious ground, signaling a new phase in the LLM race.
That's a warning shot for OpenAI. The days of ChatGPT as the unchallenged standard are over. With Claude, Gemini, and Grok all maturing, enterprises and even consumers have real alternatives. Expect OpenAI to double down on ecosystem plays and partnerships, but the competitive moat is definitely narrowing.
Turning to Anthropic, the Claude Fable 5 saga is escalating. Gizmodo and others report that the White House was prepared to act against Claude Mythos and Fable 5 even before their release. The U.S. government has now enforced an unprecedented AI export ban, forcing Anthropic to pull these models offline worldwide. Multiple outlets confirm the ban, the ongoing standoff, and Anthropic's emergency negotiations with officials.
This is a watershed moment. We've seen export controls on chips and software before, but never on a commercial AI model. It's not just about technical risk. The political calculus is front and center. The U.S. is signaling it will treat certain LLMs like weapons-grade tech. The fallout? Other labs are now on notice, and global AI development could split along regulatory lines. The days of open global model access may be ending.
Meanwhile, India's Wipro is betting big on Anthropic's Claude, announcing a new AI center in Bengaluru to drive enterprise LLM adoption, according to Reuters.
It's a smart move by Wipro. They're betting that Indian enterprises, especially in finance and healthcare, will want AI that meets both local and international regulations. But with the Fable 5 ban in the background, there's real risk if U.S. policy keeps shifting. Still, it's another sign that India's AI scene is now a global force, not just a market for imports.
Let's zoom in on some frontier research hitting arXiv. First up, a team proposes a new way to measure trust between AI agents using costly verification in a survival game setting. The results show that advanced models like Claude Opus 4.6, GPT 5.11, and Gemini 3.1 Pro can form, break, and recover trust, sometimes more like people than machines.
This research is a big deal for anyone thinking about agentic AI, systems where LLMs collaborate or compete. By quantifying trust and how quickly it forms or collapses, we get a new lens for pre-deployment safety checking. It's a reminder that safety isn't just about making AI more cautious, it's about calibrating trust to avoid both recklessness and paralysis.
Another arXiv highlight, Prolog MCP, a standardized tool interface for LLM agents to delegate reasoning to symbolic logic solvers. It's a step towards combining the flexibility of LLMs with the rigor of symbolic AI, especially for tasks where deep deductive reasoning is needed.
Symbolic delegation is a clever workaround for LLM limits. It lets the model outsource hard logic to tools that are built for it. This could make agentic AI both smarter and more auditable, especially in regulated environments like finance or law. The big question is how seamlessly these tool chains can be integrated at scale.
Let's hit two more research stories quickly. First, a new benchmark, Recur Reason, reveals that even strong sequence models like T5 and GPT-2 struggle mightily with symbolic puzzles as problem difficulty scales. Success comes down more to architecture than sheer parameter count.
The takeaway, we can't just throw more data and parameters at reasoning tasks. Architecture and targeted fine-tuning matter, especially for edge case robustness. These results are a reality check for anyone deploying LLMs in mission-critical settings.
And in the mathematical frontier, the VGPT-RSI system demonstrates that AI can make certified, checkable progress on the Riemann hypothesis without overclaiming to have solved it. This marks a careful, auditable approach to AI-assisted mathematics.
This is what responsible AI for science should look like. Progress that's verifiable, transparent, and honest about its limits. The field needs more of this, especially as hype outpaces reality in mathematical AI.
Switching gears to major industry moves, Google DeepMind and the UK government are piloting AI-accelerated housing planning to speed up home building decisions. Housing is one of the hardest public policy problems, so if AI can meaningfully speed up planning, the impact could be huge. But it's also a high-stakes test. If the system makes mistakes, or if people feel frozen out of the process, the backlash could be swift.
OpenAI has rolled out deployment simulation, a new method for predicting model behavior by running it through simulated real-world conversations before launch. The idea is to catch risky or unexpected behavior early, tightening the feedback loop for safer releases.
It's good to see OpenAI formalizing what's basically a stress test for AI before releasing new models. The key will be the diversity and realism of those simulated interactions. Otherwise, it's just another checkbox in the safety theater.
Google has launched the TPU Developer Hub, a one-stop resource for developers building on Google Cloud TPUs, with deep dives into hardware, optimization, and parallelism.
For Google, it's all about growing the TPU developer base. If this hub really lowers friction, it could help Google claw back some ground from Nvidia. But hardware is only as strong as the ecosystem supporting it.
And in U.S. legal drama, Wired and The Washington Post report the DOJ is defending xAI in a lawsuit over polluting gas turbines, arguing xAI is now vital for national security, especially given its military role in the Iran war.
This is classic realpolitik. The government will defend AI projects that serve its interests, even if it means overriding environmental or civil rights objections. Expect this case to set a precedent for how AI companies defend themselves against all kinds of regulation. Across today's stories, a few things stand out. First, AI is now treated as both a strategic asset and a regulatory flashpoint. National security and geopolitics are shaping what models get built, shipped, and even allowed online. Second, as the research shows, progress isn't just about bigger models, it's about trust, architecture, and transparency. The industry's next phase depends on how these technical, commercial, and policy threads get woven together. With government crackdowns, new safety tools, and global partnerships, the next 24 hours promise even more turbulence and opportunity. Now, let's shift gears to robotics. Alibaba's new QN robot suite is a pretty clear sign that embodied AI is becoming a serious platform bet, not just a research curiosity. The idea is to give developers a model stack that can help robots perceive the world, reason about it, and actually take action in it.
And that matters because a robot isn't useful if it only understands the room in theory. It has to survive the room, deal with clutter, and react when a person moves something 5 seconds after the plan was made.
Exactly. What's interesting here is the ecosystem angle. If one model family can handle more of the pipeline, robotics teams spend less time stitching tools together and more time testing real behaviors. That could be a big deal for warehouse systems, mobile assistants, and service bots.
It also feels like a marker of maturity. The field is no longer just asking, can we demo a humanoid? It's asking, can we ship a platform that other people can build on? And that's where embodied AI gets exciting and a little dangerous in the best way. Once these systems are reusable, the pace of experimentation jumps fast.
Right, and that's the core story. The companies that can make robots easier to train, easier to adapt, and easier to deploy may set the pace for the next wave of physical automation.
Which means we're not just watching another model launch, we're watching the software layer for machines with bodies get a lot more competitive.
On the hardware side, the chip design angle is getting another AI push, this time with a tool-assisted approach to RTL generation. RTL is the language of circuit intent. It's how engineers describe the behavior of circuits before they become actual silicon.
So unlike a normal code autocomplete, this is more like asking a model to help sketch the blueprint of a chip. That's a much higher stakes job.
Exactly. The paper's main point is that LLMs can help, but they need structure around them. Tooling, checks, and tighter workflows matter because a mistake in RTL can become a very expensive mistake downstream.
And the training data problem is real. There's a ton of software data for models to learn from, but high-quality open RTL examples are a lot scarcer.
Which is why this kind of work is important. It's not just about making models write code faster, it's about making them useful in a domain where correctness and discipline matter as much as fluency.
If AI can meaningfully speed up RTL work, that's not a gimmick. That's a genuine productivity shift for hardware teams.
And it fits the broader trend we've been seeing. AI is moving from content generation into engineering assistance, where the payoff can be measured in silicon cycles saved.
The real test will be whether these tools help teams ship better chips, not just more code. But that's exactly the kind of question worth asking now.
And to end on a lighter note, tech people have latched onto the phrase le chaton fat, and honestly, it sounds like the kind of thing that could only become a meme in this industry.
It has that perfect combo of cute, weird, and mildly dramatic. You can tell immediately somebody in a group chat said it once, and then nobody let it die.
Exactly. In a new cycle packed with serious model politics, chip strategy, and robotics ambition, it's kind of nice to have one little corner of the internet being delightfully silly.
We do need that balance. A little nonsense keeps the whole AI ecosystem human. If there's a through line, it's that AI's future will be determined as much by the messy realities of law, politics, and deployment context as by raw technical progress. Whether you're a developer, policymaker, or just a curious user, engaging with these systems and the debates around them is more important than ever. We'll be here to track it all as it unfolds.
This has been your Midnight Signal. See you in 24 hours.